Hey yo, how's it going, boys? What is up, sirs? Back once again for yet another yearly the birthday draw set ticket. Anytix we call it in short. It's that time again. I hope you're ready. I'm not sure how long is this video gonna be, but by the end of this, my throat is gonna fucking cry. Alright, so this is how we're gonna do it, okay? So this is how I'm gonna split things up. For now, I am going to talk about like the new ones, as always, like all previous Suptix that I usually do in previous Suptix, right? I always talk about the new characters. So for this particular one, what new characters means is that whatever that got added last year, okay? Seasonal characters, because seasonal characters gets included in this. So seasonal characters, and of course I will include the grand characters as well. That is up until Fidel, but Fidel is in 2021, okay? If I recall correctly. Yes, 2021. Alright, and then after that, after this new ones, I will obviously mention which is like the outside of this set 2. So basically, this first part will include the 2022 to maybe 2023 January. Wait, no, 2022, yeah. 2022 seasonal characters, and then 2021 grand characters that got added into the pool, okay? After that, I will mention briefly, like outside of those, which one are still somewhat relevant to this day. So basically, maybe like seasonal that is in 2021, 2020 seasonal characters, all that stuff. I'm gonna mention all maybe notable ones that are still relatively good to this day and whatnot. And for the third and final one, what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna round up the notable ones that probably a lot of people may pick. We all know who that is, right? So yeah. For the third one, I'm just gonna pick like I think I would just like my personal handpick, okay? That's probably what the third one is going to be. My personal handpick on characters that are still really good to this day, that is maybe worth grabbing if you don't really care on like specific things or whatnot, okay? So yeah, that's probably what the third part is gonna be. But so without further ado, let's jump right in. Oh boy. So for part 1 here, we're gonna do it by the month, okay? So we're gonna start with Valentine, summer, and then Halloween, and then Christmas. Did I miss any seasonal? No, right? Yeah. So that's how it's going to be. We're gonna split it between like the releases, okay? So you're gonna go step by step. So Valentine, summer, Halloween, and then Christmas, okay? And like I said, this is just the last year's one. So first, Valentine characters. So for Valentine characters, last year we have Cassius, right? Where's Cassius? Okay. We have Cassius. Cassius is probably one of the very notable character to have for Guild War at that given time. I remember very clearly, this guy was like insane for Nightmare 200 Guild War or something. A lot of people were using this. I think a lot of people were also using like Wamdoos, I think, if I recall correctly. But yeah, the reason why he's so good is because he has a lot of firepower in terms of like nuking power. As you can see, this has already like 8 hits, 2 hits, and all that stuff. And also he can also reduce his skill cooldowns whenever he right. And then he also has supplemental damage, and not to mention he can heal as well. He can heal. Yeah. He can heal, man. So not only, right? Not only he can nuke really hard, he can also end his cooldowns too, by the way. But he can heal really well and dispel. Yes. So you see, and not to mention, right? When an ally removes, when your ally dispels, it'll automatically trigger this. It is very handy. Very handy. It was really nice. So in short, this guy is kind of like your full auto kind of guy, right? You're basically using him from full auto. I'm not even sure if he's gonna be useful for the next version of all of the next cycle of Guild War. We don't know what that is, but most likely it might be a total different case. So keep that in mind. Yep. Okay, so then Next we have Ladiva. I don't remember seeing a lot of people really use this version. It's very, what's that word? Very minuscule amount of people actually try to just use this version of Ladiva. I wouldn't really say it's that great. It's only okay because Ladiva's Valentine version is just more of like a very supportive character, you know? Heals a lot, buffs a lot, that kind of character. Once again, it's good for full auto, but it's more like this is just more of like a utility character that really doesn't do a lot of damage. Which is kind of pointless to say the least in this day and age, you know what I mean? So another character I would probably one character I would say that it's not really worth to pick. So alright, moving on, we have Vera. Everybody's favorite Vera, man. Damn. Valentine Vera was also added on Valentine, and if I recall correctly, she's definitely one of the big tanks that Fire would like to have. And it was. Yeah, because she is Fire. She has a nice amount of HP, yes. 6900, very nice. And she's a big tank. So in other words, she can tank very, very well and yet do relatively not so bad of a damage. She has some utility here and there, but mostly just a big tank because she can really take no damage whatsoever because she has like cap incoming damage and whatnot, and whenever she she does this, she just doesn't take damage. Right? Because yeah, you have that. I mean, you do take triggers, but the normal attacks. So like, take like for example like Belial, 25%. He autos really, really hard that time. Remember? But if you have Vera, for example, you just press this button. You can go 3 turns with no problems at all. Because yeah, she has all ally sub. She nullifies his normal attack, so you just don't take any damage. And she also has elemental damage conversion as well, so she just don't take any damage. So she's actually really, really nice when it comes to like in that kind of situation. Okay, so yeah, pretty nice. Very good tag, very strong, and well, if I recall correctly, she's the final version that made Vera into a rainbow. If I recall correctly, I think that's the final version, right? That Vera has like every single element in the game or something. Alright, so that is the end of Valentine. Next we have summer characters. So summer characters are the big ones, okay? Summer characters in 2022 we have quite a bit, okay? So summer and Yukata. So we both include both Yukata and summer, okay? So first we have Jean, whichever you want to pronounce the name. Where is she? Yes, she looks very hot, I know. Especially her second outfit. I'm just gonna show it for the sake of showing because I know a lot of people would like to see. Her second outfit is very nice looking. Where is it? There you go. Yep, we all lost. Okay. Very nice. Okay, you just get her for skin. End of story. Okay. Actually, it's just not that. She's basically immortal, if I recall correctly, for like 20 turns, isn't it? If I recall correctly, she's immortal for like 20 turns. Yes. She's that kind of character. She's actually not so bad if you pair her with I forgot who was that character. I know it has something to do with like Kolulu? Yeah, I think it was Kolulu, yeah. Like having the enmity thing is very, very nice for her. And because she's pretty much immortal, she just can't die at all. She just can't die, and I feel like she's that type of character that you use when it comes to full auto stuff as well. But at the same time, you only use her to basically do damage for you. You know? You want to do damage with her only because she doesn't really provide too much utility to everyone. The only thing she's really doing for the party is just, well, she's basically helping debuffs, I guess. And the rest is just basically keeping her HP to 1. you know? Because, you know, you want to consume HP everything so you can actually go vroom vroom a lot faster, you know? Yeah, I guess she does give you jammed a little bit, but I don't know. I guess it's kind of okay. You can also get echo, I suppose, but yeah, it's all right. But I feel like her main job, right? Her main job is to do damage by herself as well, you know, because you need, the only problem I would say that she needs a little bit of like raw damage to get the her enmity to work properly, kind of thing. Yeah, so basically it's like you need a little bit of some sort of enmity here and there, or you just get like a really good raw damage in your grid, you know, like or even crit, for example. As long as you have like Alberons and stuff, I think you should be fine either way. With just like Alberon setup, her damage should be very, very consistent. And then if you have other characters outside of Kalulu to buff her up as well, then yeah, she can be relatively okay too. But yeah, very nice. She looks good. Yeah, she looks good. But it's one of those characters I remember kind of fell off pretty quickly though, unfortunately. I don't really use her that much as well. She was fun when it first started, but after that it's like back to Poseidon, and then we have Shalim and shit, so okay. And then the next one we have Strum. Strum is it's an odd one. I would say, yeah, Light Summer Strum is quite an odd one. I guess she looks good as well. I mean, if you like your boobas and shit, yeah, I guess she looks good. But she's one of those characters where she's it's not really like a full auto character, because as you can see, all of her skills has 0 cooldown, and it all like relies on her having that special stacks of hers. So in other words, you know what this character is made of? This character is made of Ogi again. Okay, she is meant for that. Okay, because in order for you to consistently get that stacks up, you need to Ogi. Okay, and in order for you to spam the skills, you need to Ogi. Right? Yeah. And then not to mention, you can also get the CA reactivation thing, because you know you can get up to 10 stacks and this consumes 8, so you get what I mean, right? And then yeah, because all of this has 0 cooldowns, it all really relies on you needing to Ogi a lot. And I would say it because she's light, and we all know where that is going to. I would say her main issue is because she's in light. Okay? If she's not in light, I would probably say it's a lot better if she's probably better in the other elements, to say the least. The only issue she has is that she's in light. That's why she's in a really weird spot. Next we have Summer Tico. Summer Tico is I think the easiest way for me to categorize Summer Tico is that, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking put the element because it's very hard to find for her. Yeah, okay. So the Summer Tico she's nice, but despite being a limited / seasonal character, she's actually, to me, she feels like it's worse. I find the OG version of Tico a lot more consistent in a way, less clunky here and there. So in other words, what she is, she's basically like a glorified skin with blue pot. That's what she is. She's basically there to give you a nice looking skin for the OG Tico, and also gives you extra blue pot, I guess, if you have, I don't know, yeah. If you want to kill someone off, for example, kind of thing, you know, that kind of raid. Okay. Next we have Clarice. Clarice is water. Excuse me. Clarice is water. Where the heck is Clarice? Alright, so Clarice. Alright. This is also very, very weird to me. Okay. Clarice is actually relatively strong on release. Okay. She straight up allows water to burst insanely well. Okay. She allowed water to burst so well But then all of a sudden we have Erika and Gwyn or something later on. Which then is like... And then we also have Ingwei. So it's kind of like... You know? Yeah, and then, yeah, it's true. That's correct as well. We have 150 Gomon weapons as well. So it's like... What do we do then? You know? That... I feel like the main issue with her is that I think a lot of times she fell off. Oops, so sorry. She fell off too quickly. Too quickly. The other characters that came by after her, the whole English style change, Gwyn, Erika, all that stuff, right? Those characters made water burst in a much better position. Like, way better. It's a lot better. You don't really need her. Yeah, you don't really need her at all. That's the sad part. But it's really funny because like I said again, on release, right? She was really strong. It allowed water to burst so well. It worked out for a bit, and all of a sudden, all this new one came out, and then yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, she fell off too quickly, and yeah, she's not really that great anymore. Unfortunate. Eustace is... Dude, I remember laughing a lot at this one. I mean, cute doggo, right? I think you only get him from the doggo. I would say you probably only get him for the cute doggo here. See, very cute, right? But he's... This, I guess it's summer version, right? Yeah, summer version. This summer version of Eustace, right? The problem with him is that they tried to make it very similar to the dark version, the one that is already level 100. They tried to make it very close to that, but at the same time, the strength that that dark version, the level 100 has, doesn't have it here. Instead, what he gets is that he adds extra stun, CA reactivation, more Ogi, and damage mitigation. So it's like, because we all know the OG version of not really, I wouldn't say the OG, the dark version of Eustace, right? He was, I would still say he's still relatively good to this date, is because he has like a lot of supplemental, he gives a lot of crit, he has very nice utility that he can provide to the team. And now with the extra rebalance they did, where this whole Splinter Cell thing, the moment he links himself with the other one, so himself and some other character that you pick, that thing will last forever. That is really, really huge for that dark version. He does so much for the whole party. He's providing all this meter towards your MC Kango, for example, whatever. Just allows him to consistently reset his skills. He can pump up non-stop crit and supplemental keen or whatever. Those stuffs are very, very nice for the team. Just allows your team just to able to overcap very easily. So this guy does not have any of that. Unfortunately, look at his Ogi. His Ogi is trash. Okay, you only just get him for the doggo. Okay, unfortunate, but okay. All right, next one is the one that I think a lot of people will go fucking binoculars about, because we have Magisa. All right. Magisa, oh boy. TLDR of Summer Magisa is basically Booba, number one, yes. Number two is that she's basically, you will want to use her until you get 650. Pretty much. Or you only use her if you need a lot of dispels and you do not have Jiki or Vikala. Yeah. Because she's, to me, right? To me, Magisa is that obviously you want to use Kango with her. But technically, Mana Diver works really well with her too, because Crest stuff. Crest is very, very OP with her, right? You want to do all the Crest stuff with her, and then you get all these extra nukes with Mana Diver. You just get like, just lots of damage here and there, everywhere. Very, very nice. But for my personal opinion, I feel like in my position, I would only use her if I want to get a crazy amount of dispels. Okay? That's only one of the big thing. I know she can do damage. That is very, very clear. But I only would use her if I am lacking in a lot of dispels. But that to me is already covered because there's a character named Vikala/Jiki. So there's that. So to me, there's no reason for me to use her at all, right? Because you know she kind of needs that whole crest generation shit, really to keep going and stuff, right? Yeah. So but end of the day, TLDR, she's still pretty good, right? If you need the damage, you need the dispels, all that good stuff, especially for upcoming Guild War. I wouldn't say it's a really bad idea, especially if you do not have 6 to 150 for for Guild War. Yeah, okay. Next one we have Mirin. Oh yeah, Mirin light. It's a leak. I just leaked Mirin light. Oh no, I'm just kidding. All right, we have Mirin fire. Where is she? Where is she? Oh, there she is. Alright, Mirin Fire is basically kind of similar as a Christmas version, I think, if I recall correctly. If I recall correctly, she can tank. Yes, she can tank, she can heal, she can do a little bit of damage, and she can buff relatively well as well. So she's kind of like an all-in-one character, but at the same time now Fire has a lot of specific grand characters, and then we have the other limited characters. Technically, we don't really need her. And then we also have rebalances for Fire, so technically we don't even really need her either. It's nice, but I would even think that I would only think that she's only really good if you're using with Xion, you know? Because in some cases, like the OG Xion, because OG Xion's in Fire, the OG Xion is still somewhat being used to a specific degree to this day, yes. So if you're using her, I think Fire Mirin is actually not too bad to have, yeah. And unfortunately, that's really about it. Yeah, unfortunately, that's really about it. She looks cute though. The innocence, right? Okay, and then we have Xion now, but this is a summer version, which is going to be Win, right? For this one in particular, I think it'll be a lot. If you want further information, like how this character works and whatnot, if I recall correctly, I did actually put out a testing or playing around with Summer Xion a little bit to see how she works with all the buffs that she basically all the buffs that she can do, right? Basically, one of her main perks is this second skill of hers. This second skill is actually very, very strong. But the only main problem I would say is that if in order for you to make this a little bit more viable, to say the least, is that you need to include katana characters, right? If I recall correctly. Yes, it's right there, yeah. So you need to include katana characters, or characters that has the proficiency of katanas, whichever you want to call it, yes. You want to have those in your party in order for you to increase this. I would say, because it says tier 3 to 8, right? I would say you probably want to at least get it to 5 turns. From what I've seen so far with her, you want to at least get her to 5 turns. That would make it a little bit more, I would say, less inconsistent, to say the least. Because, this thing kind of goes down to like 12 turns, if I recall correctly. It goes down to 12 turns, and then, yeah, you only last for 5 turns, so it's, yeah. Because, a lot of times when it comes to like, say Guild War, for example, you want to have that thing to last for like a specific amount of time, in like maybe like the first specific amount of turns. The reason that being also is because like for Nightmare 200, the boss has a lot of HP, right? And you want to full auto and shit. So there's that set portion, right? That set portion, you kind of want to bypass all that things first. Maybe after that your stuff already gets ramped up. you won't really feel that bad anymore. You know what I mean? So like, you're immune. Basically, you're immune to debuffs and whatnot, right? Because, you know, it says here debuff resistance is boosted. You're basically just immune to debuffs, okay? If you didn't know that. Yeah. So you're just immune to debuffs for that period of time, which allows your characters to ramp up. And then after that, you know, you're good to go. Then you can burst or whatnot, for example, to allow you to just go straight to 50 or some shit, something like that, you know, is what I'm trying to say, okay? So yeah, she's okay, but at the same time, because to me she's in win. We will get to the said character not too long after, because there's another character that is worth mentioning for win later on. Yeah, so I think her main issue today is that she's in win. Yeah, maybe in different element might work, but honestly I think her skill set is not really needed, unfortunately. Yeah, because for me, I don't really like too much on this set things. When it comes to like putting out like specific, like setting up a character for your team composition, right? Having limited choices, meaning like you need to have specific stuff in your party, right? Like whatever weapon specialty. That thing alone literally just kind of restricts you in a way, right? Because, you know, if you do not have the said characters, what then? You're fucked, right? You don't really want that to happen, isn't it? So that's why I don't really like this kind of set restrictions, to say the least. I don't really like it too much, unfortunately. So yeah. So next we have Doggo Summer. Doggo Summer turns out to be an element that is really, really bad for her as well. So once again, she's very cute. Yeah, very good skin for the actual OG version, the Zodiac version. The problem with her is that she's in dark, and because she's in dark, there's one character I just spoke of. It's better use that character versus this one. She's a very Ogis oriented character as well, but it's better to just use Magisa. Unfortunately, I really think she's only okay at best. It's better off you just rely on Magisa instead. Magisa just does things way better. And yeah, you probably want to use the skin. Okay, the next one, and I think the last few ones, yeah. So the next one will be Jiki, Summer Jiki, which is Earth. If I recall correctly, this version of Jiki is still somewhat used to this day, obviously. Still good, yeah, still good. What she's being used for is basically she is a burst heavy character. Do you use her outside of burst? Not really. So basically, she's just there for you to do your shit for 3 turns. 2 to 3 turns. Done. Exit, go next. 3 turns, exit, go next. That's it. That's really the only thing you're really doing. Yes, yeah. So that's allow you to just do a lot of damage, because, you know, she has this thing. She allows her allies to attack twice each turn. So in other words, she gives double strike to your other party members. What this is kind of like Nehan in a way, you know? It works similar as Nehan. So that's why it's very, very strong. Yeah. So it's good. Okay. Next we have Naru Yukata. So Naru Yukata is light. So Naru Yukata is, I would say, yeah, another one with good skin, obviously. Damn, we have a lot of good skins, huh? So Naru Yukata is, for my case, she literally saved me for light favorite Guild War at that time. If it wasn't for this character, I would be dead. But unfortunately, she kind of fell behind, and because once again she's in light, there's no reason for you to use her at all. Unfortunately, yes, because if you're planning to get like you want a limited character, right? I would still say it's better off you just go for Vera or something. I think Vera does like much better things anyway, you know. Vera, or you know, Luo. Yeah man, Luo's great. What do you mean? But her main issue is that you can technically use her for OTK. You can kind of use her for full auto as well, because she auto casts these, which does a lot of damage, mind you. And then her third skill basically allows MC to have CA reactivation. And then one of her specialty is that she can actually stay in the back line, and she can do extra nuke even. So as you can see, like here, when MC uses a charge attack, you get plain damage to a foe. This applies as a sub ally as well, so it's actually quite nice. You can actually get I think 900,000, I think. I forgot the numbers, but I think it's around there. But yeah, she can get an extra nuke out of that, but more or less oh, that amount, yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, chat already. Chat can follow up whatever stuff that I forgot. So she does do a lot of nukes, but one of the main issues is that if you're planning to use her for OTK is that she needs to stay alive. The reason why I say that is because there are times whenever I used her in OTK is that she can die. And when she dies, she doesn't nuke. She's that type of character. She has to like counter. Her nukes comes out as a counter. Because, you know, at the end of turn, special attack. So if she dies, she doesn't do any damage basically. So for example, like if you're using a 0-star summon Belial summon in your team, in your OTK team for example, there's a high chance that she'll die. Yeah. If you do not have like all the defenses, the HP up or whatever, she can die. I can assure you because I used that and experienced that before. It was very pain champ. It was very, very painful. But other than that, if you ignore, like if you don't put those in, she can still be a relatively nice OTK character. But I feel like with how limited she is, I think she's better off just being either a backline character or just grab another character or something, or just get her as a skin, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, so next we have the second last character we're gonna go through, which is Yukata Silva. Yukata Silva is very strong. Why? Because she's basically either Percival's best friend or Vilnos's best friend. She has a lot of best friends. Basically what she does is that she allows the character next to her to be super OP, because she has a very unique set of debuffs, right? I wouldn't say set of debuffs. She has one very unique debuffs that allows the character following her to do a lot of damage, which is, where is that thing? The wide open thing? Oh yeah, there we go, wide open. Yeah, this one. The other character to be a lot stronger. So you just press this. You just press this. You press this. Whatever. You just full auto and things work basically. Yeah. You just put her in front. You just put her in position 2. You just have Wilnas or like Percival or whatever other characters in following later, and then things happen. You just have MC go, like Mana Diver go, Kango, whichever, and things work out. But probably you want to use Kango anyway because you want to Ogi with her a lot. Yeah. But if not, it's still fine because, you know, she does technically give you she gives herself Ogi every 2 turns anyway, especially when you have this active, if I recall correctly, because whenever she does, because she doesn't attack when she has this, right? Whenever she doesn't attack, she immediately gets CA standby or something, and then the following turn she'll Ogi. So it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, you can technically get Ogi every turn with her in a way if you're able to set things up properly. But yeah, that's entirely up to you. She's still pretty strong, but it's just, once again, it's Ogi. Yeah. And the last summer character to cover, last but not least, is the one and only Medusa. Summer Medusa is still very strong to this day. Why? Because she dispel. She dispel literally every single turn. She nukes every single turn. What else does she has? She has a very strong skill 1, which literally has 60% repel or 80% repel or something. I think it's 60%. She literally allows you to not take damage for her first skill, and it's just only 8 turns cooldown, so it's really quick come by. And then she has literally I would say, if not one of the strongest skills in the game. It literally makes the enemy to not do anything. Press the skill. The boss is like you know, the boss literally goes like, okay, this you just don't do anything. It's so strong. This thing is very strong, and then not to mention you get extra 6 turns of multi-attack down and special attacks accuracy, whatever. Attacks accuracy. Very nice. You can +1 if you have Frau in the backline too, because this is fire. But the only problem I would say with Medusa is obviously you will want to have, well, as you can see, primal pals, man. She loves them primal pals, man. You need to have primals in your setup to make her a little bit, if not better, altogether. Okay? And one of the things out of this is that you probably only need to get triple attacks. Okay? As much as the dodge and the damage cap is really good, okay? This is really good, but I think if you are lacking in characters to choose, most important is to get this tree. She already has the built-in this, so basically you need two other primal characters to slot in, aka Michael, aka Satyr, Sylph, or whatever, Athena, those other characters. Yeah, you just put them in the backline basically, because Michael works in the backline too, so it's fine. You just need 2 other primals, and I think you're more or less set already. I think having the guaranteed triple attacks is huge for her. Yeah, so I would say that's one of her main downsides. I guess the other downside that she has is that she requires some form of ramping. Obviously, she needs 5 turns of not getting hit in order for her to get her her Serpent Surfer stacks to 5. Because the moment she gets 5, she auto activates her nukes, which is dispels and a 5 hit thing, which is very painful because supplemental damage, skill cap, on top of that, blah blah blah, just nukes a lot every turn. Very nice. Yeah, and she was very helpful in Guild War. But Fire Favorite Guild War, maybe next time we're gonna have something different, who knows. That's pretty much about it. Okay, very nice. Alright, so that's the end, I would say, for yeah, I guess the weapon is good too, but I'm not really concentrated on talking about said weapons unless it's needed to. That's the end of summer characters. Next we will go to Halloween. Oh boy, this is the juicy part. Oh boy, are you guys ready? This is where it gets really juicy. Halloween. Let's just say last year Halloween was like the oh boy. Let's just say it broke the game. They added 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 very strong characters. And 2 of them literally broke everything in the game. To the point that, well, whenever they are making a new raid these days, they always have to think about these 2 characters. Who are they, you may ask? It's very easy. Damn, number 1. Right here. This chick right here is literally the enabler of destruction. She enables literally the what light could do. She literally can unleash what MC is meant to be. Because MC is meant to be the singularity, the guy, the one person that can change it all, the singularity. That's what she does. which all you need to do is just have MC to be Relic Buster and you are good to go. But obviously, there's more to it. It's not just you just need her and everything works. Obviously, that's not the case. What she basically does is because her first skill is it's so broken. She literally gives anyone you pick the entire turn assassin. Okay? The entire turn. I will need to emphasize this. The entire turn. The entire turn. Assassin. What can you do with the entire turn of Assassin? You put it on Relic Buster, you have Babu, you have all your other Echo stuff, you have Relic Buster, you can triple attack, you can attack 3 times without taking a turn, and then you can attack as well on top of that, and then you decided to go Kirin later on, and then you know what I'm trying to get to. It's very, very dumb. And what make this stronger? I'm glad you asked. We have the next character that somehow came out the exact same time. Literally is her best friend as well. Literally makes it even stronger. Why? Because we have this motherfucker here. We have Mugen. Hence why we nicknamed them as Flugen, because they will never ever go anywhere without being together. Okay? And the reason why is because he's passive. Okay? Because if you read his passive, bonus light damage effect to light allies with a hit to max HP of 30% or more. If you go back again and see what Florence does, okay? If you see what Florence does, consumes 40%. So happen is just enough, right? Just so happen is enough for him to proc that passive. Just as long as you press that, oh, immediately, bam, done. So good. And then obviously you can just press this to make things even better. You have, yeah. You have this as well. You press this, you have damage cap, you have amplify, you have crit, you have light attack up for consistency damage, and then you have this as well. Then you what more do you want, right? It's perfect. You just press that and things work out. It's really dumb. It literally made Light the living god when it comes to bursts. And obviously the last and final member, the ones that in every setup obviously you need, is Nehan. Okay? You need Nehan as well. So, okay. Alright, let's go a little bit deeper into this, because I'll get into the last character later on, because the last character is also very strong, but I need to emphasize a lot on this because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, if not maybe 95% of the player base, will pick these two anyway. So okay, so if you do not have any of these, right? If you do not have Florence or Mugen, but you want to get into this, okay? But if you want to get into this, the few things you need to keep in mind. First, obviously you need Nehan. Okay? You will need Nehan in order for Florence to work. You definitely need Nehan. If you do not have Mugen, okay? If you do not have Mugen, you will need the Zalahalamenet. You know, I'm just gonna show you. You need that Yukata potato, basically. I can't pronounce her name for shit, okay? This one. You need this character. She's basically the other character that helps a little bit more. It's not as good as Mugen, obviously, but she still can do it because, you know, she still has this, right? She gives you crit and she gives you this as well. So it's still relatively helpful as well. So it's pretty good. And then you have this as well. So it helps. Not as OP as Mugen, but still good. She can be your Mugen replacement if you do not have Mugen and if you want to get into this. But you need to have Nehan, obviously. And you technically can actually do this in Magna as well. Not as good as Primal, obviously, but yeah, you can do it in Magna as well. So I just want to point that out very, 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 very clearly. You can do it in Magna as well. You just need the characters. You just need like your standard stuff. If you're Magna, you just get your chef swords or whatever. You make sure you have like hopefully get some good AX skills on it as well. Your whatever proving ground stuff, whatever Opus Primal what stuff. Yeah, you know, all that other shit basically. But yeah, you can use it in Magna, but obviously it's not as strong as Primal. You obviously want it to be Primal, but yeah. I'm just want to point out Magna works. Not as strong. Still okay. You can still do it. Okay? You still gotta do it. Okay. Okay. So that is the main thing that you need. Okay? If you want to use her. So secondly, if you're using obviously if you have a Mugen already, and then obviously I would suggest you just get Florence, and then you already have the thing. All you need to do is use your 4500 coins later on to spark Nehan or something if you do not have. But obviously the other thing is that you need Edens. You need, if you're planning to go Primal, that is, you need Edens, you need Harmonias obviously to actually get it to work. And yeah, just go Relic Buster and call it a day. Yeah. Or you could also just, instead of Relic Buster, you could also go Wrestler and then go with the lovely 150 Gold Moon weapons. Why not? Just get that fist, use that as a main hand, and you're good to go. You press like 3 buttons, I think. Wait, no, 4 buttons, I think, if you're pressing Babu or something. But yeah, 3 to 4 buttons, and you're pretty much good to go. Yeah, you just need 3 to 4 buttons. I think around 4 buttons mostly, yeah. Yeah, and then you deal a lot of damage. But yes. So Mugen, you have to remember Mugen is basically the spicing on top character. Mugen will not really do relatively well without the help of Florence. You definitely want Florence for that to work. Florence makes things a lot crazier, basically. You know? It's like if you want to use this set shit, you need both of them, if not one of them each. So basically it's like, to put it simply again, if you want this to work, you need Florence. If you do not have both of them, you definitely go with Florence. Okay? But if you already have Florence, get Mugen. If you already have Mugen, get Florence. Simple. Okay? Alright. So there's that. Literally the most broken setup you can do. And if you're wondering what this does, basically this can 5 to 8 turns. 5 or 8 turns kill Fa. Can kill Belial relatively easy as well with this. You can kill Babu relatively easy as well. You can also go Super Baha very, very easily with this as well. And you can be part of those guys that help sweep things off a lot faster. Yeah, you can be part of that gang. I'm not, sadly, because as you can tell, I do not have Florence, I do not have Mugen. So it's Pain Champ. Alright, so let's just shove them aside. That is literally the reason why you want to get them. I'm probably getting one of them either, so yeah. So last but not least, we have Leech as well. Leech, we all know how Grand Leech is, right? Halloween Leech is no joke as well, if you didn't know that. She nukes a lot, okay? I would say probably the only other thing you want to pair her with is at least a little bit of meter generation in some way, just so she can get her things up consistently, in a way, you know, because by herself she still works very, very well by herself. Okay, the only problem is that there are times if you just rely on her only, right? There are times that her meter is not enough. But it's very, very minuscule though. There's only very rare cases that she's not enough. Because, you know, if you have like other decent characters, I'm sure it's still going to be fine. So you need a little bit of extra. That's all you need to do. So obviously if you use Kango, yeah, it works as well. So she's kind of like, unfortunately, she is the full auto character. Yeah, she is that full auto character, but for a full auto character, she's very, very strong. Okay, she is very, very strong. I don't think I have anything to show for this particular part, but I remember I tried this Halloween version on I think a long time ago. I think it was there because I was playing around last year when I managed to luck shit her. I was trying this out on I think on Fa. It's either on Fa or Belial. For some reason, this version of Leech, right, her delay accuracy is much higher in comparison to her Grand version. I don't know why. But apparently it does. And for some reason, she keeps landing her delay non-stop for so freaking long. She just can't seem to stop landing her delay. It's insane. Her delay is so good. Her delay is so good. Every single turn delay. So nice. Just don't see any yeah, you know. So yeah, I'm not really gonna emphasize too much on this because she's a very straightforward character. You just slot her in and she just works. You just press all of the buttons and it just works. She just makes everyone stronger and she nukes really, really hard as well. So it just works. The only thing you probably want to pay attention is that her damage cap, if I recall correctly, does not stack with 150 Neo. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Unfortunately, that's pretty much about it. But yeah, other than that, she's still a straight up monster. Really, really strong character to this day. I'm still using her anyway to this day. I'm using her for mostly Akaram because that's where all my full auto goes anyway. Just Akaram sandbox all day. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of Halloween because I think I emphasized too much on Halloween already. So next we have the Christmas characters. Oh boy. Christmas characters this year is a little bit, to me, is a little bit of a letdown, in my opinion. Yeah. There's not really a lot of notable ones to me. I think they're all just okay at best. They're alright. They're not super strong or anything. Maybe they're above average to a specific degree, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. So first we have Kane. So this Kane is basically obviously a much better version of the OG because there's only 2 versions of Kane if I recall correctly, right? Is it 2? Oh wait, he has an SR version too, yeah. But we don't talk about SRs. We don't talk about SRs here. This one is actually not so bad, but at the same time it's like, I mean, it's fire we're talking about. What fire characters do we have today? We don't really need this. You know? Unfortunately, because we have already so many strong characters for fire, I don't really think you need a character like this. Because this version of Kane is also very similar to the OG as well. Basically what he does is that he buffs a lot. As you can see, well, we all know where this is going. He needs a lot of Oki again. Lots of Oki so you can get your buffs up and running non-stop, right? You can get a lot of buffs from this guy, okay? Lots and lots of buffs, and then you can extend that thing too. Unfortunately, I feel like despite him buffing a lot, and then he has that perk where if you have a lot of buffs, and then you get CA reactivation twice, right? But one of my problem I have with this version, this guy, is that despite buffing so much, right? We have other characters, if not already giving us a much better buff already, without needing for us to have a reason for us to ramp at all. You know which character I would say is probably, if not better, and is without really even needing to ramp too much for like the buffs, is Christmas Nemone. The moment Christmas Nemone Ogis once, right, your team is buffed already super strong. You know? She gives you so much defense, she gives you attack and all the other shit. It's very, very strong and nice. And then after she does do her ramping, obviously, she nukes non-stop. In other words, she does a lot of damage as well. This guy, on the other hand, not really. You know? He's like okay at best. You know? Unfortunate. I feel like that's one of the issues with Christmas Cane for me. Okay? And then secondly, we have Katura. Water. I don't even really remember much about Katura's water version. She does look cute though, I guess. I think she's very similar. I think she's very similar to like Christmas Anturia in a way, right? She gives a lot of she just wants MC's D, right? She just wants MC's dicks really a lot. She wants that a lot because, you know, she gives a lot of double strike. She gives a lot of these to both herself and MC only, and then give all these to MC and herself only, kind of thing. Yeah, so she's basically buffing herself and MC a lot. And then if you're using Kango again, right? If you're using Kango again and go Oki again, and then you're just consistently able to heal non-stop and dispel a lot with her. That's pretty much about it. Because the reason why you want that as well is because whenever MC uses a charge attack, also she gets to reduce her skill cooldowns, and as you can see, her skill cooldowns is pretty bad. I mean, this is a default, right? The level 1 version. But like, once you level it, I think it's like 12 turns. This is like, what, 22 turns or something? Something like that. But yeah, you get to reduce a lot the moment MC Ogis a lot. Yeah, so end of the day, back to Ogi Kango again, as usual. Yeah, so maybe with the whole ultimate thing, you can make it better. I don't know. So there's that. Okay, and then we have we still have 2 more. Okay, so next one we have Europa, and to put it simply, if I recall correctly, this version of Europa, Christmas Europa, is basically, it's very similar to Summer Shiva. She works very similar to Summer Shiva. So it's like she gives you the extra buff. In other words, she can give you the Seraphic weapon, the Seraphic buff weapon to your party members. And then she also gives extra, instead of like the debuff resistance or whatever, she gives you extra meter, basically. Yeah. So because, you know, this one is allowing, she's basically allowing your party members to have extra shit, right? Whenever you press that set skill. Yeah. I think the only problem with her is that, well, it's very slow. As you can see. It's very slow. It takes a lot of turns to actually do that again. It's very similar as like Summer Shiva as well. But to me, I still actually find that I like this version of like, in comparison to Summer Shiva, I actually like this version a little bit more. It just feels like it's a little bit better in some way, just because, you know, this one is actually a very strong debuff as well, and then you're basically casting it off cooldown as well, so it's quite nice. You know, I actually like having like some special debuffs like this, you know, from time to time. And yeah, it's pretty good. You can get a lot of meter out of this as well whenever you press this. You get a lot. I know a lot of people seems to have problem with this, but we have that thing, we can disable it in future, so it's not really a big problem if you already learned it, so you can always just wait. No big deal. End of the day, she's a very full auto heavy character. And then last but not least, we have Jita. We have a tanned Jita, because for some reason this character looks very much like Jita. I do not know why. She has like Jita face and Jita hair. To me, I know some people don't seem to see it, but to me she looks very much like Jita. I do not know why. What's so good about this character? She's not. She's in dark. That's the problem. The problem is that she's in dark. Dark has a lot of other characters that excels way better than what she can do, because she's supposed to be able to you know, allow yourself to burst, you know, because you have double strike and all this stuff, right? But once again, you have a character named Bowman. If not, does much better than this character. So, yeah. Just don't. Just don't. There's no reason for you to get Fiorito at all. Okay, but I think that's the end, right? I think I covered all of the set seasonal characters for 2022. So now we're gonna go in for grand characters, okay? So grand characters that got added until Fidel. Alright, so basically 2021. I guess we're gonna go for grand characters, alright? Disclaimer, once again, I'm only doing this just so that people still wants to pick grand character no matter what. I'm just trying to cover it, okay? I'm just doing it just for the sake of the video. But if you ask me, I would really suggest you to not bother with grand characters, because once again, TLDR, would you rather pick a character that appears once or twice a year or every single month? I would say it's better to go for the former. You should pick the ones that is a lot rarer, that is very, very hard to come by, because if you want a grand character, you can always later on go for a normal Flash or a Lake Fest banner and just go spark for that character. It's much better that way. Trust me, it's much better that way. You should always pick a seasonal character for this ticket, okay? But anyway, let's get into it. So for 2021, okay. Alright, so 2021 characters, right? We have quite a bit of characters to get into, okay? Because this is quite a stacked year, okay? Unfortunately, 2021 is quite a stacked year. Alright, so first we're gonna go with Cagliostro, okay? Cagliostro is still relatively good to this day, but a lot of times I think a lot of people try to stray away from needing to use her, but she's still really, really good. Her weapon is still a relatively nice main hand, yes, so you don't really need multiple dupes of that and stuff, but her character is still really nice because she has a really, really good debuff, like I think I mentioned before, very, very strong debuff, and she has a very, very strong buff to the entire team, which allows you to have a special CA cap increase. In other words, because this game has like a hard cap for the amount of damage you can do, be it normal attack, skill damage, or Ogi damage. You have a specific hard cap based on what he has, okay? So for Ogi in general, right, you have that hard cap, but with this, what Cagliostro allows you to do, you can go above that hard cap a little bit. So in other words, you can hit much harder. Okay? Very, very handy. And then after you mash enough of the Ogi whatever stuff, because you know you get this thing whenever you do all this on her passive, you can actually get this. You get CA standby to everyone and cooldown for everyone, and you get auto revive. So that's cool. But unfortunately, this takes 40 fucking turns. So yeah, you need to reduce that by, well, doing this. So it's, well, yeah, it's pretty hard to get this, because I think the fastest, if I recall correctly, the one of the fastest one I was doing back then when I was actually using Cagliostro a lot was like, I think turn 17. I think around turn 17, 16 or 17. I think around there. Still pretty slow, right? So, but yeah. If you think about it, Cagliostro is not really, she's not really focused on this. You want to use her just for this, and then her, you know, this is just makes her Ogi even stronger. Yeah. So in other words, she's still relatively okay to this day, but she's kind of like, you know, being strayed away a little bit. And then everybody's favorite waifu, probably my favorite too. We have Naru. So we have Naru as well that got introduced in this year. In that year, not this year. I don't think you need me to explain what Naru can do, right? But if you need me to do it again, what Naru does is that basically she does a fuck ton a lot of damage. Full stop. She's basically your wind burst enabler. You can't do it without her. She does a lot of damage, and that's it. Lots and lots of damage. So basically, what you need to do is you feed all the damage to her. Echo, double strike, whatever, just feed it into her. She does all the damage for you. Full stop. Done. Do you need her weapon? Weapon is great for main hand, right? Her weapon is actually really nice for main hand. I think at most in a primal grid, at most you probably only need 2. I don't think you really need to go more than 2, like ever. Yeah, you can just make do with 1. I don't even think you really need 2 these days with the whole potato shit these days. Yeah. So yeah, just put 1 or if not 2. Yeah, that's it. Okay, then and then we have another favorite one, because this one is Nehan that got introduced in 2021 as well. So we have Nehan, and once again, like I said in the Halloween segment earlier, you will not be able to do it with this guy. And what this guy is capable of, he's only meant for burst. He is shit for full auto. Okay, he's just straight up bad for full auto. You only use him for burst. Okay, basically you press all his skills and done deal. But yeah, so you just need to read what he does. So his first skill is just what you also have to remember, that all his skills, right, he's providing it to everyone else but himself. Okay, he doesn't get that thing. You have to remember that all of this buff he doesn't apply to himself, because as you can see, effect to all other light allies. It doesn't affect himself. Okay, you have to remember that. So in other words, a lot of times when it comes to bursting or whatever with Nehan, right, you want to buff him like in EMP, earring, rings or whatever a lot. So like that's why a lot, like if you didn't know, like for my Nehan in particular, I think I can show. For my Nehan in particular, I actually gave him a multi-attack awakening, because this guy cannot multi-attack for shit. A lot of times when you're getting ready that turn, right, and you want to like emphasize that turn a lot better as well, and then you see this guy. You don't like to see that happen, right? It's all of a sudden just single attack, like, bro, come on, man, what the fuck? Right? That's one of his main issues. So that's why you want to like buff that thing up as much as you can. You want to give him all of that. See, I gave him like all the triple attack. I even gave him this stupid double attack, stupid earring. I left it there for a reason, okay? So that's one of his main issues, okay? His main issue is just like all this extra utility he just can't seem to have. You need to put that to himself just so he can do a little bit better for himself. He makes everyone else perfect around him, but himself, unfortunately. But yeah, so his first skill gives you a lot of raw damage. He gives you a lot of raw damage, gives you echo, it gives you supplemental, yeah, it gives you everything, right? And then the second one just basically gives you guaranteed triple attack, and then he also gives you extra charge bar gain. So for his second skill, I probably have to mention this, is that if you're using the one of the older burst setups for light, which obviously uses him minus the Mugen and Florence, the Flugen shit. If you're using the old setup, right, this guy kind of enables that, because if you're using Opus with the double strike chain on MC's on MC, which is a sword, if you're wondering what, you use it on Viking, right? If you're using it on Viking, you need to use this in order for MC to get meter. So in other words, if you're not using the skill that other than Splitting Spirit, of course, right? Wait, actually you need it with Splitting Spirit. If you're using because one of the skills for MC also requires you to need meter, right? So what this does is basically this gives your party members 100% charge bar gain. And what the double strike chain does from Belial, what it does is that it minus 100% charge bar. Basically, if you press this, everyone else besides him has normal charge bar gain. That's basically what it does. It's basically negating that negative thing that you get from that chain. So in other words, your MC can do that thing. So in other words, you can Ogi 2 turns, if I recall correctly. That's what you do. That's what you tend to do with the whole Viking setup back then. Now nobody cares about that because of Flugen, so yeah. But anyway, you use him because of Flugen anyway, so yeah. And then third skill is like, it's kind of straightforward. Just give everyone double strike. What the fuck not? And then not to mention, once again, you guys remember what Halloween Mugen had, right? And what does he do? Reduce max HP. Everything connects so nicely, and then you just get maximum insane amount of damage. How nice! Right? How nice is that? Just decrease your max HP and just get maximum damage. Because why does HP matter? When you kill the target before he touches you, right? Simple. You kill them before they do anything to you. But yeah, so that's what Nehan does. I hate him though. Fuck him. Next we have Giga Chad. All right. Next one we have dude. 2021 you have a lot of stacked grand characters, man. Holy shit. Okay. So the next one we have the Giga Chad, Poseidon. We have a good outfit for him now. He looks cool, but I think that's a waste of money. But you know, so this guy, very very strong in so many different cases. But to put it simply, he's just really good for like long fights, and hard fights as well, in a way. And well, not to mention he does a lot of hits, man. He's really good in V2 as well because of that. Because one of his things is that he's very similar to Valentine Grimnir as well, if you didn't know. He gets like his normal attacks. His single hit does 3 hits. So every time he guarantees triple attacks. He has 9 hits. So it's just, you basically add 1 echo to him, just add even more hits. So just brr, 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 brr. All the attacks, man. Just gets a lot of attacks. So he's really really strong in full auto, and not to mention with the whole Oki as well, just because, you know, he has a really really strong, you know, look at this. It's like really really strong permanent debuffs, and then he has this as well, multi attack down, and then you have this as well. You have insane amount of hits if you Ogi a lot, and then you buff your entire team, right? And it lasts forever, but can be dispelled, but doesn't matter, right? And then he has a very very strong third skill, which literally makes you immune to dispels, right? And right, wait, is it dispels or debuff only? Wait, I think dispels too, isn't it? Or is it just need debuffs? I guess the debuffs only, huh? I thought he's immune to dispels as well. Isn't it dispels too? His third skill is very very strong. Okay, his third skill is very very strong. Basically, he's just immune to a lot of debuffs, and basically all debuffs for 5 turns, and then you're getting drain, and drain is quite significant as well. You get lower damage as well. Basically you have a little bit of damage reduction as well, just all together really really good. And then not to mention he has big utility from his Ogi as well, so it's just giving all around your characters more consistent damage as well. Very very strong to this day. It's probably going to be used again in full auto Guild War again, who knows, probably another character, I don't know, but still pretty good. Alright, I forgot to mention about the previous 2 weapons. So I forgot to mention for Nehan's weapon, the most you want to do for Nehan's weapon is that you only want 2. Okay, for Nehan's weapon it works very similar to a Fidel. I'm probably going to get into that later as well. So your max you want to stack up is 2, and you only use that if your party is using primal setups as well. If you're not primal, if you're Magna, don't bother with that. You only use that in primal only, and if you're using a skill based setup. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this earlier. And then for Poseidon's weapon is that I don't really think you need a lot of that. I think you only need 1 at most, because his weapon is more of like the garrison weapon. So it's like you need to take lesser damage in like a hard raid or whatever. Slot 1 of that in there, I think you're pretty much set already. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's Poseidon, and then there's Nehan as well, his weapon. Forgot about it. Next, we have the one and only Leech again. We have Grand Leech. Oh boy, okay. I mean, I already explained Halloween Leech already, right? Do you need to explain this again? Alright, so for the character itself, it's very simple. Okay? Very, very simple. You press these 2 buttons, everyone else does... She does a lot of damage, everyone else does more damage. Wait, actually no. She doesn't apply, she only applies to herself. She just does a lot of damage. She presses these 2, does a lot of damage. End of story. Done. Simple. She does a lot of damage, and the only unfortunate thing is that her delay is only on Ogi. So keep that in mind. It's very different from the Halloween. Halloween is based on the... Whenever she uses her her meter, right? Which is mostly more or less every single turn, right? And then, but this one is only from Ogi, okay? So keep that in mind. Other than that, she does a lot of damage. End of the day, okay, the main important thing is obviously her weapon. And how many weapons you want to get? Maximum, I think these days, I don't think a lot of people really use 3 these days, do I think a lot of people are... It used to go to 3, okay? It used to go a maximum of 3 PNS, alright? It used to be 3. But I feel like nowadays, you're just fine with just 2. You can do so much things with just 2. 1 is good, but 2 is best, okay? I feel like the third one is kind of like, sure. You know, doesn't really need, because you know there's Hal Mel's weapon these days as well. So if I recall correctly, they share the same cap, I think. I might be wrong on that one, but yeah. TLDR weapon only 2 at most. So yeah, if you want to go into premium Magna, 2 is needed. Okay, and then next, the last 2 grand characters I'm going to cover for that year, obviously, is wow, the next one is it. Dude, why is all the 2021 characters so OP? The next one, we have Lancelot. Yes, Lancelot is very, very strong as well. But I feel like he's mostly used for either you use him for OTK or you use him for full auto. He's very, very strong because he has permanent double strike, even though he's only double attacking, but overall he does a lot of damage. He does a lot of hits. When you stack up the glaciate thing, he nukes really, really hard. So in other words, you need to get a lot of like supplemental, skill cap, in other words, all that stuff to on him, on your grid, whichever, and you'll do a lot of damage. Okay? I think you can technically use him for burst as well, but other characters are better. Gwyn, you know, Erika, whatever. It's probably better rather than him. So yeah. That's the TLDR I can give you for him. He nukes a lot, he does a lot of damage, he's just basically your DPS character. And he does glaciate too, so that's kind of nice. And he has some debuffs here and there too, so it's kind of helpful too. Okay. And for his weapon, right? For his weapon is, I think, for Wamdu's setups is that I think the most you go is 2. 1 is fine. I think 1, slotting in just only 1 is okay. The most you probably do is just 2. I don't think you go more than that, because it works the same as like the what's that? Like whose weapon is that? Neon's weapon, and yeah, it's the same. And Fidel as well. They're all the same. 2's the most. Yeah. And then last but not least, we have Fidel. So what we have for Fidel is that she is Leech's best friend, right? She's Leech's best friend. She nukes a lot. She autos really, really hard because of this. She auto nukes as well. Her you know, just to save you time, I think I emphasized a lot of this character. You just go watch my Luo impressions, and you get to see why this character is better. So yeah, just watch that one. If you want to know why Leech is, you want to know why Fidel is good, just watch that one. I'll just go watch the original impressions of this character. Yeah, she's good, especially in V2. Very strong in V2. Nukes a lot, does a lot of damage, double Ogi, all that stuff. Really, really nice. And then for her weapon, once again, you only want 2 max. Okay, same as the one from before. You only want 2 maximum, and you don't really have to use a weapon. Okay, I just want to point out, you do not need to use a weapon because there's a weapon called Agonize. Unfortunately, it's not in the weapon birthday ticket. You have to farm for it. It sucks, but it is what it is. You probably have to wait next year for Agonize. So yeah, get to farming, I guess. Yeah. So alright, that is the end of part 1. Okay, that's the end of part 1. Okay, so what I'm going to go right now is that I will mention everything, all the seasonal characters that is worth mentioning to this date. Okay, worth mentioning to this date, and then I'll handpick some of the ones that I mentioned in this second part, and I'll just mention which is my personal pick. Probably is good one. We all know what the answer is. I will not mention grand characters again because I still think that's probably one of the not really a good idea to do it. Okay, so for seasonal characters, there are still a few notable ones that I probably have to mention. Is that one of it is obviously, where is Grimnir? I would definitely still need to mention this guy because Grimnir is still very, very strong to this day. Where the heck is he? Oh, there he is. Alright, so Grimnir is still very, very strong to this day because his autos and his nukes still is, despite being I think he's 2020, right? He's like 3 years old already. And he still does so much damage. You know? He does so much damage up to this day. And it's just so good when it comes to even the likes of V2 as well, because he's very similar as Poseidon, as I mentioned earlier. He just does a lot of hits. So when it comes to all the stupid, annoying, what's that? Excuse me, V2 Omen stuff, which requires you to get a lot of hits. Like, you know, some of them requires you to do like 60 hits or some shit. Yeah, Grimnir is really, really good for that one. Okay, and then the other one, I would say, I think I would probably give a little notable mention, obviously, is to Summer Shalim. So Summer Shalim was 2 years already? Damn. Really? 2 years already? That was fast. Summer Shalim is also still really, really good today. Is because she has the Kenkyu no Seikara thing. And she has a very, very powerful debuff, as I mentioned before as well. Very, very strong. And her third skill is very strong. Okay? Her third skill is so strong for full auto, you have no idea. Because it's not like you really use summons. Maybe in future we might actually get it soon. I'm not sure when is that. They never mentioned the whole summon in full auto thing. But yeah, before this, we don't really get to use summons anyway, right? And then you get to use this, and you're just able to reduce 3. So it's like you just basically, the idea is to you always put her in position 4, and because this is a red border, everything else, all the stuff that you use in your prior to your 3 characters, they will go through all that, cycle all that stuff first, and then you go to her last. Yeah, because you know you will press the red skill last, right? And because your other 3 characters also have red skills, they will go through theirs first. You know, so she'll always get her thing last. So the moment you press this, it will reduce your cooldowns, so you're able to cycle the shit a lot better. It's very, very nice for full auto. Even though you're not really pressing this, it's very, very nice. And not to mention, she can double dispel and double delay on Ogi, because she can double Ogi, if you didn't know that, because you have a lot of debuffs and shit. Very, very nice. Yeah. So Summer Shalim is very good as well to this day. The other one I would probably mention is I'll probably say Monica. Monica has like a special place in my heart. But no, Valentine Monica, I will only say that if you want to do the Earth Ogi all day setup, which is fucking pain champ and shit, but I just want to mention it because some people probably might want to do it. If you want to Ogi every single turn, you need her. And obviously Octo, but you need her more. Yeah, you just need her, okay? Another special mention again for Christmas Naru, just because that she is still probably one of the best characters that Earth can get when it comes to burst. Unfortunately, she's a little bit dated, even though she can go assassin for the entire turn kind of thing. That's great, but still kind of loses a little bit with the grand version. Just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much mostly the same. The only I would say one of her downsides that she has a consume meter stuff for her, you know, the main, the thing that gives her the damage. The only problem is that this thing just eats up meter. That's one of the main issues. But yeah, as you all know, I have been saying quite a bit in my past videos as well, is that Earth Burst is kind of like on the bad side right now. It's not really that great, but I still think I felt like it still needed to actually mention her because she's still really strong in that regard. But yeah, so just want to mention that. Okay, So the other ones, I should really just go page by page, just to make things easier. Oh yeah, Kolulu is still good though. Kolulu is still good, but then again, I think it's you don't really need to use her that much these days, unfortunately. I feel like for Kolulu's case, like she does do a lot of damage, she buffs a lot to your team. She gives a lot of utility actually. She works really well with Summer Jean, John, right? So, you know, it's nice, but I felt like maybe I could just mention that briefly, yeah. Kubira is still pretty nice as well to this day to a specific degree, yeah. Still pretty good. I still think you need her weapon for Primal, I think, if you want to go for like a skill-based setup, right? I think you still need her weapon. I think Agni, if I recall correctly, still needs her weapon. Because her weapon is the only weapon that really just... Basically, Fidel's, Lancelot's weapon, that's what she has. That's why you kind of need her weapon. It's kind of stupid. Unfortunately, that's how it is. So Kubira as a character is still pretty good as well. Yeah. The other one, I guess I could say is oh yeah, I guess I should mention Anira as well, because Summer Anira is kind of like if you do not have Neo. If you do not have Neo 150 or even 130, I guess. I think 150 is better. If you do the burst setup or something, Anira is probably better. Anira works as well if you're wondering. Summer Anira works if you want to do the whole Grand Naru Summer Korwa shit. Yeah, that one still works. Still very strong. Yeah, Lich already talked about it. The other ones worth noting obviously is oh yeah, Nemone as well. Yeah, I think I already mentioned Nemone. Nemone is still really good to this day, I feel like, just because that she still gives a lot of utility. She still nukes really hard to this day. You just need to give her a little bit of a ramping, because she's kind of the same as Medusa, as I mentioned earlier. She needs like 5 turns and then she's just done. As long as you press her first skill, you're pretty much done, because, you know, MC subs for her. Yeah, so it's okay. She still does a lot. Very good. Summer Shiva is still okay as well. Similar as, like I mentioned, Summer Europa. He does very similar to like what Summer Europa does. But I think the only difference is that his Stinks is not really that good, because for some reason his first skill is a Dispel. So imagine like a 10 turns Dispel is like... What? And then you just get extra heals, I think. Yeah, you get extra regen and shit. So that's pretty much about it. So it's... you know. He's alright. Probably there are better ones out there, so... But I just kind of figured it's worth noting. Oh yes, obviously, okay, I need to also mention this. So Christmas Anturia is very strong as well, yes. You probably will be laughing because, oh, but you say she's bad before, because things are different on the first day versus few years later, okay? There's a difference between looking at a character first look, and then when you let the character cook a little bit, things work differently, okay? Jesus. Stop shitting on me because of that, okay? But yeah, Christmas Anturia is also because very good in that regard, because she does provide a lot with, you know, similar with to that Mumu earlier. She gives a lot to herself. She does a lot to you know, it's pretty handy, right? You just don't really you get a lot of double stride, you get a lot of like insane amount of dodge. It's just you get a lot. Basically, in other words, you get a lot out of her. As long as you just have MC in your party and she's just there. And her weapon is pretty good. I think if you have one of her weapon maxed out, it's actually pretty good. Yeah. Just another thing I should point out as well. You know what? I should press this button. Then I can see where I left off. Okay, there we go. Makira is okay as well. Christmas Makira is actually not bad as well. Just because that I think she's also relatively nice to work with Rabbit. Rabbit. No, the new Zodiac. It's really nice because of the whole dodge thing. I think if I recall correctly, that stacks on top with what the Rabbit actually has. I might be wrong, because I don't. But yeah, it's still really good, especially if you want to if you want a solo Super Bar, yeah, you can do that. The whole song and shit, yeah, it's pretty good. I already spoke that. I already mentioned all this. I don't think I need to repeat myself again. Oh Oh yeah, Summer Ilnod is another one. Obviously, Summer Ilnod is basically one of the characters that you need that enables also enables Earth's burst. Just because she works basically kind of like Alanan in a way. If you do not know what Alanan is the reason is just basically this. Basically, you get full meter, right? As long as everyone has full meter, you get guaranteed triple attacks, and you get echo. Pretty significant echo as well. And the other reason why she's also good is that her third skill is basically a slightly weaker version of Babu. She can basically fully debuff the target minus the boar, the OP extra debuff that Babu does. Yeah, he just doesn't have that. It's very, very strong. This is a very, very strong debuff. So just want to point that out. So that's another really, really good thing. You don't really use a weapon now. And then Zoe, that's a grand character. We don't talk about that. Alex, huh? Alex is still not so much though, but I think Alex is still okay. Alex is still a really, really good tank / utility character anyway for Earth. But then again, it's like, yeah, Earth though. But to be fair, I still do use her only for one particular setup, which is my Super Baja Earth Super Baja setup. I use her to sacrifice and bring in Sandalphon, basically. That's what I do. And then just Ogi all day, yeah. And then Amina, not really. Anglovale. Anglovale is still pretty good though, I would still say. Yeah, Anglovale is still pretty good to this day. Because even these days, right, there's like even newer characters that just came out like probably a month or two ago that has very similar skill set as Valentine Anglovale as well. It's really nice actually. It's still pretty good to this day, I feel like. Yes, he nukes a lot. He does relatively nice buffs to the team. He does reset as well. Yeah, he resets, so in other words he can nuke even more, so it's pretty nice. But I think all in all, you basically use him just because you want his firepower and the debuffs that you get out of that firepower. You get the utility from him with all the buffs that he's providing to your party. Very, very handy. He's also giving you crest as well, so if you're using backline characters to get crest as well, is also very, very nice. Yeah. And then Yukata Izmir is also pretty nice, but I feel like most cases, if you have nothing else but Yukata Izmir, you only use Yukata Izmir for OTK, I feel like. This is only my thoughts, but probably maybe different for a lot of people. But she can technically work if you have Yukata Silva as well. She obviously can be a little bit better. If not, you just use her for OTK. And obviously another one I probably should mention is Summer Meg. Summer Meg only somewhat became the part of the spotlight because of Eresh Kigel. Okay, so this is only for Eresh Kigel. Okay, for anyone who doesn't have the setup and want to go for Eresh Kigel, all you need is to have Eresh Kigel, Bowman 650, and Meg. You can save so many buttons. Okay, you don't have to press any buttons. You only need to press maybe 6 S1. That's it. And then you attack. So it's just one button: attack, 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 attack. Very nice. Yeah. So I probably should mention Meg because of that. Turbina, Summer Turbina is still, I would say, still pretty good, but I feel like she kind of falls behind now because you have the whole Fidel and Leech already. So yeah. So it's not really that great anymore. Maybe at most you only use her for OTK, but like I wouldn't really warrant any ticks for that particular purpose. So I just want to point that out. For Vayne, Halloween Vayne is okay, but he's a backline Andy, so I don't think it also warrants any ticks for that. What I meant by backline Andy is because he gives you garrison even in the backlines. He has a passive that gives you extra defense as long as you have him either in the front or the backline. So most of the time you just put in the backline and you go on with your life. But yeah, the other thing is like, yeah, his weapon's alright, but Wind, you don't really need to go primal for that one. If you want to burst, Magna works just as fine too. If you want to work into getting a good burst, just go on a light. Simple, just get light. Light does everything. You don't need any other element already. Unless the said boss has like a resistance or some shit, I don't know. Okay, next is that man, are we getting a grand version of you? And then obviously we have Korwa. Yes, Summer Korwa is worth mentioning because she enables Grand Naru. She single-handedly became so much better because of that one rebalance, right? That one rebalance that Cygames decided to give her, and then we have the Grand Naru, and it's straight up, she's the best character that everybody wants to have. She's not only a very, very old character, which is really hard to get as well, so it's not so bad to get too, in a way, if you think about it. So, if you want to enable your wind burst, you definitely need her. You know, you just need to put her S1 into Naru, and you're done. Yeah. Trumpet emoji, still pretty good as well to this day. If you want to do like specific other types of bursts, still pretty nice. Helps a lot in a lot of different cases as well, because, you know, it gives meter, it gives you assassin, all the other stuff. Kind of helps with Alanan in a way if you do not have a way to actually enable Alanan properly. Yeah, Alanan is the invoker, if you're wondering who that is. Yeah, so yeah, she's pretty okay on that one too. And then so Yukata Potato, yes, Yukata Potato is, like I said before earlier, once again, she's there for if you do not have Mugen. And if you have Florence, if you do not have Mugen, yeah, you have that. But if you already have Florence anyway, you should just pick Mugen anyway. So yeah. So this is only I just want to mention this briefly just because of that. I don't think you should pick this at all. Because if you're picking a character from Anythix, you should pick Florence instead. If you already have Florence, pick Mugen. No. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Okay. No. I already mentioned that. Lucio. I think you still need Summer Lucio for Water Burst, I think. Do you? If I recall correctly, I think Summer Lucio is still do, right? You still need to use him for Water Burst with Gwyn and shit. I think it's better to use him for like more. I think he has more options compared to like Katura, because Katura works with MC only and shit. Yeah, I think he's probably okay. Yeah, so he's okay. I just want to mention that as well. So next we have oh, that's it. Alright, yeah, that's it. Right? That's all the seasonal characters, because I'm pretty sure I enable everything, right? Yeah, that's all the seasonal characters, right? We cover all seasonal characters, so part 2 is now over. Okay. Now, from my hand-picked one, my own personal hand-picked characters that I think is worth for this Anythix. Alright, so my hand-picked one, obviously the number 1 and number 2 pick is obviously going to be Florence and Mugen. For obvious reasons. So obvious. There is easily no doubt those two are the top pick characters for this one. You can buy them right now, by the way. The reason why is because they're Halloween and you're never going to see them for this entire month. It's impossible to see Halloween because the earliest you're going to see Halloween characters is on September. Because that's apparently when they are revisiting Halloween characters before Halloween on October. So is it? Wait, was it June? Wait, no, July, I think. Wait, I don't know. They do it around later this month, later this year. They're not gonna do it this month, is what I'm trying to say, okay? And then the other ones I would say is yeah, Grimnir. I would definitely pick Grimnir as one of the other characters as well. Grimnir is one of them. Summer Core is one of them. Leech is another. I would say another pick as well. Leech is definitely another pick, 100%. She's really, really good. The other ones I would say is Magisa. Yes, Magisa, 100%. Summer Magisa is one of those characters. Summer Medusa is another one of those ones. Christmas Antura is definitely another pick, I would say. Yeah, another one. I think that's probably the only few ones I would really consider. But yeah, maybe the other ones, like you want to enable like your summer core is definitely one of that. Your mag, you know, just to help your RH Gigel shit, you know, like you want to help on full auto stuff. Angloville kind of works too, but then again, you have you know, Florence and all that shit too. But yeah, I guess those are the few ones that I would suggest personally, you know, from like the list that we have right now. Oh, I should probably mention Shalem as well. Shalem is Summer Shalem is also still really good to this day. Kind of forgot to mention her. She's definitely one of those ones I would personally pick as well if I already have everything else, you know. She's really, really strong. The other ones, I guess, yeah, probably Summer Jiki as well. Summer Jiki is only for another Earth Burst if you so desire, if you already have everything else, if I, you know, for all things considered. The rest, excuse me, I guess that's pretty much all I can say. Kubira is great, but I wouldn't really personally suggest Kubira though, unfortunately. What a relic in the past. This used to be like a thing for light, man. Now we have Flugen. What a relic in the past, man. Halloween Helly used to be that character. I'll probably say Chicken is actually worth it too in a way. Yeah, I can probably put her in there. Chicken is actually quite good as well. Chicken is probably good to consider as well. Like I say, if you have everything else and you know you want to buff up like a specific one, a specific thing. Chicken is good. I would even say Christmas Nemone, Christmas Naru. Yeah, those ones are pretty good as well. Yukata Silva can be that as well, I think so, yeah. No. Yukata Silva can be. Ilnot technically can be as well, I would say. Summer Ilnot, Yukata Silva can be. No, this is a grand character, not that. we don't talk about that. Yeah, I guess those are the few ones. I would say Alex, but Alex is like so limited in terms of like what you can use her for these days. I wouldn't really warrant that too much, you know. So yeah, and obviously Summer Medusa. I think I mentioned that already. Yeah, yeah, Summer Medusa is okay as well. Katura, Katura is very, very like specific, oddly specific setups too. But I think you're okay with that too, though. Yeah, Christmas Katura, but I don't know. I'm a little bit on the edge on that one. I'm not too sure. Yeah. I think Summer Lucia, I think I already... Nah, I don't think I really would say is that great though. Yeah, I think that's it eh. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to mention. Like my personal handpicked characters. You know, I would say Monica just because, but no, I think that's unfair because that would just me being biased, so... I shall refrain myself from doing that. So no. Yeah, I guess that's it. So those few ones. So obviously I think my top picks is easily Flugen, Grimnir, the burst enablers are always my priority ones because that shit just helps out a fuck ton. Yeah, Leech is also one of my top picks, I would say. Leech is definitely good ones. I will only consider Leech if you do not have Flugen, you know. But if you don't give a damn about the burst, then yeah, I guess Leech works. Yeah. I suppose that's really about it. Yeah. Okay. So if you think about it, this video might be actually shorter than last year, huh? It's still almost like 2 hours, but you get the idea. Damn, we're almost 2 hours in. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much as much I can try to help you in terms of like point out specific characters that is worth mentioning, you know, to this day. You know, limited characters that is worth mentioning. I technically could go into Grand, but I refuse to do that. Yeah, if I refuse to do that, I honestly just refuse to do that. I'm sorry. If you're planning to do that, if you want the answers for that, just ask my Discord or something, or just come to my don't come to my stream because I'm probably not gonna answer that because that's a dumb question. I won't answer that. You want to ask that in my Discord? I won't answer grand questions, unfortunately. I think that's all I can say for this particular Anythix 9th anniversary draw set on specific characters that is worth mentioning. Maybe if it's good or not, those kind of stuff. Yeah, so things are going to change. You have to always remember things are always going to change. So always remember to only pick the characters that you're very, very certain about. Okay? And the other thing is that if you're planning to pick I think this is I probably should mention this earlier, but if you're planning to pick a summer character, I would totally suggest you to do it on the last day. Okay? I would totally suggest you to do it on the last day because this ticket lasts until April 1st, if I recall correctly. Yes. Because we are getting summer characters this month, so you want to wait until all your roulette is over and stuff before you until you buy that. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say. So if you're just summer basically. If you're planning to if you want to pick grand characters as well, I would suggest you to wait until the last day as well, obviously, because there's all the other shit. But yeah. End of the day, pick seasonal characters, pick either summer characters, Halloween, Valentine, and Christmas. Pick this seasonal limited characters. You probably get more out of it because they're so rare, you hardly see them. It's much better if you do that instead of a grand character, okay? So that's my suggestion to you. If you still need help in any way with picking what seasonal character, you can come on to my stream. We will help you with that one, okay? Just hit the follow button if you want to help my content. You can hit the subscribe button on YouTube, or you can subscribe to me on Twitch as well. That's probably better in my opinion. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully it helps you in any way. Yeah, and once again, if you find this helpful, I would appreciate if you click the like and share button too, I suppose, but whatever, the usual YouTube stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Bye-bye. Okay.